All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we have the bug of the spine as well. Let me write that down. So, and the things to do, we have a list to fix. So here's spine, rotation, fix when going to certain angles. I believe this is easy to fix because we already have the GASP function already in place, which checks for the direction of the character, which direction the character is going, regardless of the, like, comparing the aiming point and the current rotation of the character. So it gets the two. I think this is, yeah, this is through here. Let me just see. It's called AO value. So here you can get those values. I'm just going to print a string to see. No, we cannot print a string, can only log, because this is a pure function. All right. So if you go to the event graph and enable AO, no, not enable, get AO value, we can split the structure and we can print a string and we can get the value X. So here you can see that that value changes, the X value. So you can get that X value and go to the animation graph and disable the disable the turning place fix. I believe this might be the cause, but there is a lot of nodes that could be the cause, as we have a lot. So let me just try to do that again. So slow motion, aim, and then try to aim backwards. No, that's not because of that. So we're going to exclude this part. Make the turning place to look natural and aiming standing. This could be the cause. So I'm just going to plug this directly into there. I'm going to also debug. Wait for the motion matching to do its thing, compile. It's going to use a lot of CPU when it does that. So press play again. Wait. Yeah, I think I disconnected some things that were not supposed to be disconnected. So like this, compile. There we go. So yeah. So I have two issues here, actually. It's the over twisting issue and the snapping issue. So they are two separate issues. One we can fix by setting a limit rotation. So let's say, for example, we can get the value X and do a ABS. And then I can try to see if that value is greater than 140. Sometimes I have to do some stupid test to see if the blending is going to work or not. It's very funny, but it's not. This is not a joke. It's just for testing the layer to see if we get some good results with what we're trying to do. Okay, I'll be right back. I don't know what to what to implement in this stream. There are little things that we need to implement, but I'm not sure which one. All right. I guess in this live stream, we're going to be fixing the bug that we have in here. So if you try to spam the F button to pick up something, the character glitches. So as you can see, if you spam it, it glitches out. I don't want this to happen. If I just spam the button, now the character enters in the glitch state, which I don't like. So we're gonna have to fix that bug yet today. What's happening here is that the character is somehow in the weapon loop state of the weapon pickup. As you can see, if you go to that state machine, as you can see, it's looping through every time infinitely. And that's because the isPlaying pickup item is true. I think this bug only happens when you're trying to pick up ammo on the ground. Now, I think the best way to handle this is by printing strings and debugging the whole code, because we don't really know what's causing it. So what I'm going to do today is just this live stream is going to just be about fixing bugs, because maybe someone somehow is going to learn something with how to debug things in the code. So we're going to do that today. So I'm going to get a lot of print strings. So I'm going to say weapon. Or you don't really need to specify anything, just error, I don't know, get a number like 438. And then the duration is going to be 10. The text color is going to be red. It's going to give a lot of attention. The key has to be none, so that it doesn't overlap with the other strings. All right, that's great. In here, we're going to do the same thing, just copy paste and change the error name. Let's say, I don't know, 7. This one we don't need because it doesn't affect anything much important. I'm not sure if this should be here. Ammo identified. I think only this part of the code in here. And in this, if it's not valid, then I'm going to launch and print an arrow saying 878. Yeah, I think it's important to know how to replicate that bug. So I think in this case, I know how to replicate the bug, which is by picking up the arrow. So I'm just going to do that in slow motion. So when I pick up the arrow, and in the process of doing it, I'm going to press F. And it says that the ammo identifier is not valid. And then something's not valid in here. Let me just see, where is that print string? It's not valid. Something's not valid. So structure pickup, ammo identified ref. So ammo identified ref print string here is not valid. Hello. Will you be uploading the project footy on Patreon? Yes, for sure. That's going to be available for the standard members and premium members. And then like version 41 is going to be, and so on, is going to be available only for premium members. So this is going to be the first version to be launched for standard members. The latest one, the latest version of the project. So what I'm doing right now is just fixing the bugs that we have, which is pretty important. Fixing bugs, I think it's more important than than adding features, because if you keep adding features, implementing new things, and the bug still has the project still have bugs, it's going to be a mess. So you're going to if you had like one bug and then you start implementing things, you're going to have you're going to start having multiple bugs, and you're not going to figure out what's happening. So you're going to lose control of the project. Like, yeah, I think it's like driving a car. If you start doing things that you don't know or implementing things, you're going to lose control of the car. That's the most terrible analogy I've made, but you get the idea. Raven said, "Hi. In many projects, when you fire a semi-automatic weapon and press the reload button, the gun continues to shoot during the reload animation. Is this also in case with yours? In many projects, fire a semi-automatic weapon." Semi-automatic weapon. The reload animation. I'm not sure if it happens on mine. I'm going to try it right now. If it happens. Yeah, I cannot reload with this weapon because I don't have the shooting in place. I'm gonna have to place the shooting there. Let me just see if I fixed the bug of the arrow. So if I'm in the process of picking up. Yeah, I think we fixed it. Let's try to pick up the ammo. Yeah, I'm spamming the button and now the bug doesn't happen anymore. That's great. As you can see, I'm pressing the F button and the bug now it's disappeared like magic. It's like taking a pill to to cure the headache. It just disappears. So as you can see, you can spam as many as you can the F button. Now the bug is just fixed. So this variable, setting it to false, is very important. It's very important to set this variable to false in the place where it needs to be. Now we're going to fix the bug that we cannot reload at all because the pistol is full of ammo. So as you can see, if I press 3 to debug the weapon related stuff, As you can see, if I shoot, the current ammo quantity doesn't reduce. So for fixing that, we're gonna have to, let me just organize this a little bit. All right, so for fixing that, we're gonna have to go to weapon shooting, shoot event, and pistol logic. We can get the same logic of the bow, which is the which is the ability to reduce, the code of reducing the bullets that you have currently. So go to the pistol logic, and I'm going to reduce it in the pistol logic code. So here, what's happening? What's happening here is we're going to get the current weapon amount of ammo, and then reduce it by 1, and then set the new current value of the ammo quantity. So let's see, by pressing 3. Now it's going to reduce it. Now I can reload. Oh yeah, I can, whoops. Oh, that's very interesting. Alright, so for fixing that, we're gonna have to do some things. It's going to be very easy. It's going to be really, really easy. So the first thing we need to do in here is when you reload, we need to get the information that we are reloading, and then when we leave the reload state, we need to get also notified when we finish the reload process of any weapon. I don't know if you have that variable set up. Let me see. Reload state. Playing reload animation. Let me see. Find references. Set playing reload animation. I think this variable does the job. Yeah, we already have the reload information, which is great, and it's all set up in the code. So I'm not sure why that variable is not being read in the print strings. We don't have that variable set up in there. So as soon as we reload, let me see. Here. Yeah, we don't have that variable at all. So we're going to do that variable right now. We're going to go to the where is it? Debugging graph. No. Debug function. And here, debug character weapon state, we're going to get that. We're going to get, copy paste this, debug macro. The key is going to be followed by the previous one. So the previous one is 004, this one is going to be 005. And I'm going to copy the name of the variable called playing reload animation. Remember, just to give a little bit of space so that the names, they don't get too much close to each other. Now we're going to change the variable just by drag and drop into the whatever variable that's in place. We're going to replace the variable. Compile, save, and boom. Now we have the ability to read if the character is currently reloading or not. So as you can see, if the character is playing the reload animation, it's going to be true. I think we should do... Sometimes I press 1 or 2 or 3. I don't know which one I should debug, which one is responsible for what. So I think I should print a string saying, hey, if you press 1, you're going to debug the player input related stuff. If you press 2, you're going to print this and that. So I guess we should make a variable like this. So if it's not enabled, we can get this to be a duration of 1. And I want to make this to be like sort of gray. Let me see how that's gonna go. Yeah, that's gonna appear on the screen like this. The key could be could be like 111. Just spam 1 4 times. Or maybe just 1 or 0 or 111. The other one is going to be also that. Let me just organize this a little bit. So press 2, press 2 to debug the character movement. Press 1 to debug player input. Press 3 to debug character weapon state. I don't know why they don't appear in the order. I want the one to be, press 1 to be in the first one. So, how can I do this? Yeah, let's select the key to be 1, 2, and 3. I think as we're not going to be using the same key for this one right here, they're not going to be executed at the same time. They're not going to override each other. So as this print string is not being executed, which is going to be using the same key as this one right here, we don't really need to worry about that right now. So if I press 1, yeah, that's weird. I think it's because the sequence is going to be executing. I'm not sure. Let me just select here to be the key 3 and here should be the key 1. Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter. That's weird. But anyways, let's set this key to be 1, 2, and then 3. Doesn't matter. So as you can see here, press 1 to debug the player input, debug character movement, and weapon state. Yeah, this this key here has to be 111 because it's going to override the other values as it happened right now. So 333, compile. There you go. All right, now let's go for the shooting fix. It's going to be really quick. Go to the graph and go to the weapon shooting. And we cannot shoot if the character is playing the reload animation. So get playing reload animation, and that's it. So if it's playing the reload animation, don't shoot. The playing reload animation has to be false in order for us to shoot, and that's it. That's going to fix for all the weapons that you have in the world that you're going to be using in the future, and that's very good. The other thing I want to do is to destroy the bullet after you hit something. So let me just comment here. This is going to be don't shoot if reloading. There we go. Don't shoot if currently reloading. So we're gonna have to go to the projectile of the bullet, BP projectile. And destroy the bullet. So the bullet is being identified as arrow type, which is not what we want. So as you can see here, the projectile pistol bullet is, the bullet type is arrow ammo. So we're going to change that to pistol ammo. And try again. There we go. Now the bullets disappear. Doesn't have any bullets. Now we're going to fix the rifle not being able to, oh well, when I holster the pistol, it doesn't appear. When I holster the pistol, it doesn't appear in the character's mesh. Let me just see something here. S key. No, it's the holster. So holster pistol 1H. Or thigh holster. I think that's it. Handgun. Oh wow, it's very small. I didn't notice the handgun was not visible when the character was holstering the pistol. Do that simple fix, adjustment, and then try again. Still not there. Wait. Yeah, it's not there at all. Let me see. Pistol 1H child. Character holster. Socket. We're going to change it to thigh holster, but I think that's not the one. Let me just check in the UFN mannequin and go to thigh holster and add a preview mesh and add the handgun. Yeah, the handgun is also small. That's weird. That shouldn't be small. So maybe this is the holster, not the weapon itself. Caramba. Holster pistol 1H. Is this the pistol? Let me see. Handgun. Yeah, this is the place of the holster. And this is the pistol. So you're going to change the relative scale. That weapon is very big, so change the size to be 83. 83 here, here, and here. There you go. Piston 1H. Go back to the piston 1 child, and the character equip socket is the hand, and the holster socket is this one. It's the same one as it is right here. What's happening? Let me just see, go back to the retargeted characters and go back to the U4 mannequin. Viewport. Go to the holster. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's happening. No idea. Attach socket, handgun, holster. Okay. Scale rule, snap to target. Let's skip world. Okay, but now the rotation is not good. Keep world as well. Okay, the location, keep world as well. There we go. But it's still a little bit weird. I'm not sure what's happening. As you can see, the size is different. If you take a look at the ASCII skin, the size of the holster follows the same size of the socket as the relative scale is. So if you go to the, if you go back, I don't know if I can change this. Okay, let's do this. Let's set the visibility to be off. So that's, we're going to basically disable that. We're going to add the new component as skeletal mesh. I'm going to call it handgun holster for V4. We're going to attach it and assign it to the mesh. And then from here, we're going to attach the socket as for the handgun holster. So holster, I think it's thigh holster, not sure. And then select the holster. And then press on play. And then boom, problem fixed. But the problem is that I'm not sure why here is different. Than the other one. It's too much in the mesh, and if you take a look at the in here, it's not following the right location. Here's -84. No, this is the thigh holster. 84. Yeah, I'm not sure. Raven say, if you fire a rifle and then switch to a pistol, would the rifle stop firing if you continue holding down the trigger during the weapon change? Wow, that's some really good attention to detail. Yeah, we're gonna try that. We're gonna try to do that. As you can see, it's not quite there yet, but oh, it's because it's not attached to the UE4 mesh. Okay. That's why. I have to attach it to the UE4 mesh. And then from here, I can select the holster. Holster, thigh holster, yes. Yes, there we go. I was attaching to the mesh of the UFN character, that's why. Now if I pick up the pistol, it's going to perfectly attach to the weapon character's holster. That's really good. I didn't notice before that the weapon was not appearing. If you fire a rifle and then switch to a pistol, would the rifle stop firing? If you fire a rifle and then switch to a pistol. I'm gonna have to fix for doing that, I'm gonna have to fix the rifle not shooting. As you can see, I'm pressing the left mouse button and it's not shooting at all. Let me debug the weapon state. Is press 3. So as you can see, the current ammo quantity is 25. So I'm gonna fix that right now. Go to, let me see where, pistol 1H, weapon master. Let me go to the weapon shooting. Shoot event. All right. Pistol logic. Okay, so here you have the logic for spawning the bullets, the projectiles, right? So we don't have for the rifle, so we're going to do that right now. I'm going to pick up the same pistol logic because the bullets for the pistol is the same. We're going to use the same projectile for the pistol as well for the rifle. So I'm going to write rifle logic and then go inside here. We're gonna have to fix the location of where the bullet is going to go later. But I guess in this case, I think it would be just to lower it down or just not add any offset. So let's see if that's gonna solve. Okay. So if you fire a rifle and then switch to a pistol, let me just get a pistol. Not the bow. Pistol. Get the rifle. just see. At the moment, I don't have a specific key to switch to another weapon. As you can see, we have that bug where it's not really a bug, but it's a visual thing that annoys me a little bit, is that when you're aiming, if you hold aiming and then holster the weapon, the character does this. So he tries to aim after he holstered the weapon, as you can see right there. So we're gonna fix that real quick. So let me get the holster equip. And then after here, we're going to set the character input state. Let me just see where that, just copy and paste this setting here. Character state, we're going to just place that in here. So what we want to do is just only enable the option to enable the wants to aim variable, and I want the character to stop aiming. Make character to stop aiming. And you also have another variable which controls how the character goes back to aiming, from aiming to, or maybe not, it's not even over here, maybe rifle aiming, go back to ready. Oh yeah, that's what it does. So if the character is not aiming, we can go back to ready. Let me just see if that solves the issue. So pick up the weapon. So I'm going to holster while aiming. Just keep pressing down the right mouse button, then holster. Yeah. Let me just see. Preview. ABP. Let me just see how that's going to, what's really happening here. Yeah, it takes a while. Aiming to ready. So you have the or wants to aim. And here attach following the site. Let me just see if this code is executing at all. also have to solve the issue of spamming the holster action. But I think it's going to be very easy to fix that, as we've done for the pickup, for solving the pickup spamming button issue. So you can see I cannot spam anymore, which is a great thing. There you go. So wants to aim has to be false. Or I think I can do something different in here. What I want to do is make the character to go back to the default state. After the character holstered the weapon, because when I'm aiming like this, if I press the right mouse button and if I hold the aiming button, if I keep holding it and then press Q to holster the weapon, as soon as I holster the weapon, I want my character to go back to the default. As soon as that weapon is attached to the character's pocket, to the holster. Not ammo pocket, the handgun pocket holster location of it. So as soon as he attaches to that location, I want the character to go back to the default really quick. Let me see. This transition here doesn't take long. But I think what's really happening here is that the duration is 0.75. And that could be a problem. Unless we make another transition rule in here. And then we set that, let's say, wait, let me see which transition rule, what that takes. So if the character equals to default. Okay. So default. Let's say if, okay, I wanna do something really interesting here. Let's say if to add just one more little thing. So as you can see on that transition rule, it takes like almost 1 second for the character to go back to the default state, but it goes back. But the problem is that it takes too long for the transition to go from the weapon state to the default state. So that's why you have that bug. So as you can see, as soon as the character holsters the pistol, it goes to the default state, but as the transition rule takes a while, takes too long, it's bad. So what we're gonna want to try to do is, if the overlay state enumeration is equal to default, of course, and the character wants to aim, which means if the character is aiming, we want to take this transition instead. But I'm not sure if that's gonna work, or maybe we should replace the order of the transition. I've never added two transitions at the same time, but I want to see how it works because it could be very important. So as you can see, if I make this transition rule to be here's the priority order. So the priority order of this transition, if multiple transitions out of a state go through at the same time, the one with the smallest priority order will take precedent. So priority order 3. This is going to be 1. So press on play and see what happens, which transition rule is going to take in place. Okay. The other one. That's good. Yeah. So right now we don't have the logic of the rifle shooting multiple times, because as you can see, if I keep holding the left mouse button, the rifle only shoots once as the pistol is shooting. So you're gonna have to make the logic for shooting multiple bullets for the rifle. So if you like left hold the left mouse button, if you press and hold the left mouse button, you're going to make the rifle to shoot multiple times. I don't like the snapping effect. I don't like it. Let me see how this is handled in the latest weapon system that I made for the premium members. Okay, let me just open it up. I think I've already fixed this snapping issue when you turn. You can see you don't have that happening when you're not with a weapon, but if you are with a weapon, as you can see, it snaps. And the spine also turns a little bit, over twist a little bit, but that's okay. That's very acceptable. Locomotion systems, weapon system, premium. Let's see how that's set up in there. But I believe there is something related to the spine of the character. If you smooth out this value depending on a certain angle of where the character is aiming, relatively, you're going to have the snapping issues. So if you check for those values and smooth out the rotation variable, I think you can get the result that you want. Let me just disable all the this 31.2 goes directly into here. Let me just see how that's going to look like. Yep, so as you can see, the character does not snap anymore. But let me just check it out something, the weapon system premium. Sandbox character. Go to where the AO value is. No, not here. Yeah, I think we also do that. Plug this into here. So yeah, it doesn't, it kind of happens. The arm, it stretches a little bit, as you can see. in slow motion, especially in slow motion. As we're using the word space and the layer blend per bone, layer blend per bone. We're using the word space, the local space to make the rotation. If you use the mesh space, the arm is going to rotate in the mesh space. I think it's not for this node right here, it's for the other one. This is for the handgun equips. Ready state, the aiming state, as you can see here. Pistol poses, mesh space, local space. Not sure if this is going to do the job. Yeah. It's actually the reverse. If you don't yeah, it's true. If you don't use the mesh space, character's arm is going to be like this. So that's why it's good to use the ALS learning system, because you can basically choose between the two. So if you want to have like half local space together with mesh space, you can also choose to do that because we have the learning system set up. But if you also want to do something like in the ALS, we're gonna have to do some things. So save cache and then get the audio layer blend per bone, and let's set this to be 3. So I want to have I cannot do saves in the inside the state, I think. But what you're gonna want to do is just click here on the mesh space rotation blend, and then you want to have full rotation. But you also want to have like small. You want to have something between the two. You can also do that. But you're gonna have to set up. So in the ALS, you set up everything like everything I've done here. Rotation blend, the alpha value. You can also choose everything inside the curves values, as we have the ALS learning system set up. Let me just see how the spine rotation is calculated. It's calculated like this, spine rotation. Let me see if this is, I think this is the same. Find references, set, update spine rotation. Yeah, it's the same. All right. So what we can do right now to fix the snapping issue is get the AO value, but first we're going to print the AO value to a variable. So we're going to split the structure. Let's say this is the lateral rotation difference. I want to only print. I only want to print the x-axis first. This is going to be good. How to fix the snapping issue. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it out. But I have ideas to really get it to work. So the text color is going to be white. So as you can see, the lateral rotation difference, as you can see, it's now working. If you aim to the left or right, if you aim to the left, you get the left, you get negative values. If you aim to the right, you get positive values. So what we need to do in here is get that value in here. Let me get the Okay, so get this value in here, and let's do the absolute float, because it doesn't really matter if it goes negative or positive, as we're dealing with rotation values. What we're going to do is check if that value is less or equal than 140, maybe. I don't know which value which angle the character starts to glitch. So play. Yeah, I have to get the weapon first. Is the problem already fixed? I'm not sure. Wait, I'll be right back. How can I make the character to look faster? It's a little bit slow. Let me just... the character over twist the neck bone, I guess. But only when he's crouched. So I believe it's because of the curves not being set correctly, that the values of the curves not being set correctly in the crouch animations. So that's why it happens. I believe so. Going to let all the other values to be, let me set the neck to be 100 for the weight speed. Yeah, I'm not gonna change that much of things in here. I'm going to set the neck to be 4 and the weight speed to be 20 so that it doesn't, we don't have any problems and future snapping issues later. So if you go to the overlay state, pistol on H, let me see which one. Go to the pistol. All right. Crouch aim. Layering head add. Let's change this value to be 1. Okay, change that value to be 0 now. Set it to be .5 as it was before. I'm not sure if it was .5. Now layering head, I'm going to set it to be .2, just see what happens. Yeah, I think .2 worked. When you reload, the head goes too much up. I'm going to copy and paste these values in here. So layering head is going to be .2. Copy paste them to the reload animation that we have for the pistol as well. So reload animation. When the character is crouched. But I believe that's not because of the reload animation itself. Let me just see. It's not the reload animation because the reload is not overriding the curves. So just see what's happening here. Okay, then just go, just place the curves values in there, whatever. Hand, head. As you can see, head here is 1. I'm going to just copy and paste that so that it's going to update all the curve values. I'm going to also place it in here to all the curve values. So let's try again. I don't know why when you reload the spine goes like that. Let's change the spine 1. See what happens. Yeah, I'm trying to fix the idle animations to be played as well when the character is crouched, but I guess I'm gonna need some more time to fix this. Is that replicated? No. Not replicated yet. I know the next animations I'm going to write in the things to do the next one very cool implementation that's going to be, it's the dodge animation, like there is in The Last of Us 2. So I'm going to implement dodge animation by pressing the left Alt keyboard key. which will, I think that's going to look very nice, the dodge animation. All right. That spine issue happens especially because of the spine rotation here. We can fix that in many ways, but essentially what's happening is that we're surpassing the limit. So let's say pick up the pistol, press slow motion, lateral rotation difference is more than 100, and then when it surpasses, if it passes more than 140, the character snaps. We could do a blend by bool, and then place the, check if it's more than 140 more or less, or 130, and then put it to be set in a smooth rotation blend. Let's just, yeah, this graph is getting big. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, we're going to get the blend poses by bool in here. Let's get the ABS organized. ALS spine rotation, and then normal rotation in here. We can fix that in many ways. So the true blend time, this is just for layer. You're going to make everything into we're going to collapse everything into an animation layer. So it's not going to be messy like it is right now. So no need to worry about it now. So organize the things. As we're just testing and prototyping, it's important to keep everything clean, but right now it's not the time to collapse everything as we're just testing new things. Okay, normal spine rotation. Okay, true blend time. Let's see how that's going to react. Okay, 140, 130. Yeah, it looks like if we holster and then try to jump over obstacles, do traversal action, any traversal action, while in the process of holstering or unholstering the weapon, the character stays on that pose without the weapon. So what we can try to do, we can block the player from jumping into, block the player from doing traversal action, the ability to prohibit the player to do traversal actions while the character is holstering or doing any action that requires the So in the event graph, we have the space, the jump event, as you can see right here. And as soon as you jump over an obstacle, we execute this traversal action. So we're gonna have to expand a little bit this graph in here so that we can have more space. And I'm going to get the holster boolean. So if the character is holstering or unholstering, or if the character is reloading, displaying the reload animation, or well, displaying shooting or picking up an item. Start pickup item animation, playing. So if any of those booleans are true, we're not going to do the traversal action. So I'm going to get a logical node called or boolean, logical operator. I'm going to add a new pin, connect those into here, and then I'm gonna so if any of those variables are true, the branch is going to execute true. And if all those variables are false, then it's going to execute false. And then we're going to try the traversal action. I think that's how it works. So if I get a pistol and if I holster, let's see. Yeah, I think it's because of the other node. Let me just do this. So or boolean, as we've done before. So press add pin, and then just copy paste that to this one right here. And also for preventing bugs, unexpected bugs, you need to make sure that when you're picking up a weapon, you have to make sure that the character is in the condition to do that. So for example, if you have a lot of, especially if you have a lot of actions that you can do in the game, and that there's a lot of possibilities that can happen that the player can press in order to make an action, you always have to make sure that if you press the reload, for example, you have to check if the character is not holstering the weapon in the moment of the reload, in the moment of the when the player presses to do certain actions. So it's pretty much like that. And we're going to do that right now because I want to make this version to be as much as bug free as possible. So what I'm going to do in a way that it's very scalable, I'm going to make this to be a macro. So I'm going to collapse this to a macro. I'm going to make this macro check check character state. I think it makes more sense because it's going to check the current character state in order to make certain actions before that. So that's the most important part of this live stream. Pay attention. All right. Let me think a little bit. I'm gonna do this. I think it's better to do this with a function, but with a function is going to be, we're not going to have output executions, two output executions available for us like we have in here, so that you can get 2 output pins available. But in the function, if you make a function, you don't have that option, but you can get a branch. But you can get a branch, yeah. So we're going to make a function instead. So we're going to name this function to be check current character state function. And just place everything that is in here to here. And then we're going to get the return node. We're going to make a input, actually 4. And we're going to check, for the first one, we're going to check is holstering or unholstering. I don't know if they would. I don't know if this word exists on holstering. Next one is going to be reloading. Yeah, for now I think I think it's going to be better for us to be making it without functions or without anything, because it's going to confuse a lot, and I don't know how to do that yet. So actually I know how to do it, but it's going to require some time to set up. So if it's not doing any traversal action, I'm going to get the branch. I don't know which nodes was here before. It's not doing any traversal action. This is going to be false, false. And just jump if the character is in one of those states. It's going to be a lot cleaner later once we refine this, but for now it's just going to be like this. All right, so we're going to go to the equip, not equip, we're going to go to the graphs, weapon pickup, for example. And then let's say, for example, you can only pick up, you can only holster when the character is not holstering. we're not unholstering. That makes sense. So if the character is not holstering, we're unholstering. Let me see if that word exists. I'm not sure. Unholster. Yeah, remove a gun from holster. Okay. So if we're not holstering or unholstering, we can holster or unholster. Yeah, drop logic. Now, do the same thing. Get a branch. Now we can only drop the weapon if the character is not already dropping, but I don't have a state to check if the character is dropping because it just does. It's just when you press, it goes really quick. So as long as the character is not doing any of those actions in here, I think it's going to be good. So for example, G. Some of those values are going to be true, are being true for some reason. If one of these values are true, then we're not going to play anything. All right, so press G. Okay, G, true, false. All of them are false. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Drop logic event graph. If you want, you can also change the color in this one, and then change the color of it in the graph as well. Here you can do the same thing, just to get things simpler and more readable. All right, so we're going to do the same thing for the other one. Yeah, we've already done that. So So to fix the issue of the holster and the holster process, I've done it so that only when the animation finishes, we update the state, not in the blend out, because in the blend out it takes a while for the animation to complete, to finish. And if the animation is not finished yet, we don't consider the holster action to be completed, or the unholster action to be completed. That's it. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the pickup action. So here I'm going to get the pickup. If it's not playing the pickup action, not playing the pickup animation, starting. Oops, remove. Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that issue later when the character picks up gets the arrow attached, even though he has already another weapon. Gets the arrow attached to the character's hand. We're going to fix that later, but that's going to be it for this live stream. We've set up everything to be working well. All right, so that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you in the next one. Just gonna show you a little bit about what we have so far. So we have the almost everything in place. We don't have the IK. We have disabled the IK because I was having a lot of issues. Because you really have to know when exactly to execute the IK system, and basically you need to know two things. Basically, it's just how and when you're going to play the IK, to apply the IK for the character's hand. If you know those two things, and based on whatever the condition of the character is going to be, you need to basically know those two things: when to apply the IK for the character's hand, and how to apply the IK for the character's hand. So you basically have on this system, on this project version, you have the rifle equip and unequip actions, holster and unholster. You have the ammo pocket, the arrow pocket behind the character. You have the arrows. You can pick up the arrows. They're going to be on the character's back. As you can see, as soon as I picked up the arrow, it's going to be teleported to here. I can also pick up the ammo for the pistol. And just get the bow so I can shoot with it. So as you can see, you can press R to reload. You can shoot with the left mouse button. The aiming on this version, on this project version, is very precise. Together with the spine rotation, with the precise spine rotation that I've done, it looks very much cool. I just need to find a way to make a system where it reduces the sensitivity of the mouse, so that when I aim, the mouse sensitivity is reduced. So I have to also write that down on the things to do. So reduce sensitivity when the character is aiming. For some reason I cannot jump into the I cannot do any traversal action. Let me see why. Sandbox character, event graph, right here. Oops. Yeah, if it's not doing any traversal action, let's delete this. There you go. Now, we've also fixed a lot of bugs, especially when doing the traversal. Now you cannot traverse while in the process of holstering weapons, because that's not going to be possible for now. Doing traverse while you hold the weapon, maybe we can choose like specific animations. so that we can reload specific weapons. But for now, I think that's going to make more sense. So yeah, for the next live streams, we have a lot of things to do in here. These ones are already in place, so I'm going to just fix rotation rate when aiming. And we have this list to follow as well. A lot of things to solve. But so far, it's looking really nice. And also another thing that I want to add is add more animations to the bow. For example, the stretch bow ability depending on mouse input. So depending on how long you press the left mouse button, it's going to stretch the bow even more so that the projectile is going to be launched away faster. So as you can see, you can hold the bow like this when you're aiming, and then if you want to shoot, you're going to press and hold the left mouse button, and depending on like how many seconds you hold the left mouse button, the projectile is going to be launched away faster. The speed of the projectile is going to change depending on how long you hold the left mouse button, as it is in the Last of Us. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. And there's also this idle thing that I've added here as well. So you can edit the amount of seconds that the character is standing still. Let's say, for example, the character is standing still for like more than 6 seconds. If that's the case, then the character is going to start playing the idle animation, regardless of the weapon you're holding. So here you can edit the idle breaks delay seconds, which is going to define like how long the character is going to play the idle animation as soon as he started idling, standing still. So you can edit it to be whatever value you want. And the way we've set up this is we get the state machine set up in here, and all that's happening here is just a random idle stand animation cache, which we have right here, random sequence player, so that we can play those animations in here. I'm still thinking about to add the breathing animations for the character, which is also going to be looking cool. So yeah, the link is going to be available for you to download in the description down below.